Okay, I will not close the door.
It's fine. We're live, by the way. Hi.
Oh, are we?
Yeah. When I said we're going live, I pressed the go live button.
What's it like being alive?
Oh, who knows? By the way, if anyone's in chat, let us know how the levels are. If I need to adjust anything, if I'm too quiet or...
If I'm too loud.
Yeah, this is Jamie, by the way.
Hi, I'm Jamie.
And I'm still Mike, free shooter, whatever. And Jamie's going to be doing color, and I'll be doing play-by-play.
Indeed.
Yes. Alright. I need to spam out my stream link. Partner up a tad. Alright, I will up a tad. The levels are all over the place. Alright.
The levels are all over the place.
Jamie, talk a bit more.
Okay, I'm just gonna keep chatting like this.
Chatting like this.
So today was pretty great. I'm gonna be this is about the level of which I'm gonna be commentating.
Frosty, how do we sound now?
Yeah, does it sound horrible? Does it sound great? Do I sound like...
Sounds good now.
Perfect? Sweet.
Alright, I just had to bump it up a bit. Also, you're on the same... Just because of the way OBS works, you're on the same thing, so the game will be a bit louder. But it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Sushi, you know what we mean. Alright.
Hi, Sushi. Hi, Frosty.
Time to spam out stream links. Put it there, put it there. Oops, Slim's putting it there, so I'm good on that front. The game will be getting started in just a minute once we spam out the stream link everywhere that it needs to be spammed out. So that way, anyone who wants to watch can.
Indeed. All right.
Hell yeah.
Hello.
All right.
I should probably get rid of this random meme that's on my...
Probably, yeah. Memes are generally not conducive to streaming. Well, depends on what you're streaming, I guess, but not to cast.
That's true. I mean, if you're memeing in the cast as, like, part of the commentary.
Alright, and we're into pick and ban. Alright, game one. Picks and bans, game one of Wildfire Eagles versus Timid Turtles. The Eagles are currently 5-2, and the Turtles are 3-4.
Awesome. I'm curious as to what the bans are going to be on 9.3. I know that a lot of the crit marksmen are doing a lot better nowadays, so we might see a few bans going that way.
Alright, looks like Evelyn going to be the first ban out of the Eagles. We saw Note using that to some pretty great effect in their game against the Falcons yesterday, so not too surprising to see that off the table.
Yeah, the Braum is also a pretty standard ban, especially the crit marksman back makes it easier to proc those Braum passives, gives you a strong bot lane presence.
Yep, and also Braum pretty good into Ezreal as well, who is still one of the strongest marksmen on the patch.
Yeah, also very good with Lucian.
Yep.
Xin Zhao taken away from Note. It's pretty good. See that he's
a lot of focus on the jungle from the Eagles. Really trying to put down Note. Think they've identified him maybe as the strong part of the team, and as the Quinn ban.
Yeah, there's the standard Quinn ban against Slim. It's pretty average.
It's the thing about being a one trick on a team. You're gonna get your one trick banned even if you don't play it, just because it really looks scary on your record.
It really does.
I mean, it's like Viper in the LCS. He got into the LCS basically being a Riven one trick, and then this week he got Riven 2 games in a row, and guess what? They won those games. So people are one tricks for a reason. Zyra going to be the last ban in the first phase for the Eagles. Again, not too surprising. Zyra, probably the strongest poke support on the patch.
Yeah.
And
LeBlanc being taken away from Burgers.
Yep, and the immediate lock-in of that Lissandra.
Super first lock-in for Lissandra. Lissandra did get hit with a couple of nerfs in this patch, but still one of the strongest champions. We see it used to great effect in LCS, and I'm sure that either Burgers or Slim, whoever's going to be playing it, is going to put it to great effect.
Yeah, here's the thing. This is technically a flex pick, and now it does go mid the majority of the time, but, I mean, that's in pro play. This is a 5s environment, so it's possible, but top lane Lissandra is still technically a thing. Thank you, the Tiny. I like my beard too. Caitlyn lock-in, of course, with the crit items getting buffed. Caitlyn gonna get a pretty big buff as well. Still has some of the problems Caitlyn has always had, but overall just tier higher than she's been for the past 6 months.
Yeah, super safe. Same with the Orianna. Both really safe lanes from the bot and mid lanes. Dog and Super Jew are probably going to be looking to last out the game and hopefully survive for the late game here.
Yeah, and picking the Sivir makes sense here. Sivir kind of a soft counter to Caitlyn, I'd say. You still get shoved in laning phase. You don't really have lane priority, depending on the support picks, of course, but just in general. Sivir does have the ability to absorb either the ultimate or walk through those trap lines with that spell shield. And scales about as hard as Caitlyn with probably a bit of a better curve. It looks like they're going to go for the Karma as well. So actually trying to get some lane priority. So with the Karma locked in now, I actually think Eagles do have lane priority because of the pushing ability of Sivir and Karma, especially against an Alistar.
Yeah, against an Alistar, it's an interesting pick because the Alistar and the Caitlyn definitely synergize well. If they can line up the traps with the WQ combo. Also, Alistar is definitely going to scale better into the late game than Karma because you're definitely going to want those big flank engages that we see all the time.
Yeah, Alistar support you kind of pick when you're... It's like, pairing it up with Caitlyn's not that bad because Caitlyn's pretty strong in lane, whereas Alistar tends to be on the weaker side in lane, especially against the likes of a Karma. Just kind of tends to get poked out, can have those good engages, but a lot of the times, Alistars tend to be looking more for the roams that are playing for later in the game. So this could just be them saying, hey, Caitlyn's going to be fine on her own. We know she can farm up okay, and they're just going to use the Alistar to roam.
A couple of jungle bans continued. The Jax can also go top, but definitely seen him more in the jungle. Karthus being taken away is a no-brainer. It's a very strong jungle pick. And then the Ryze ban is a little bit interesting. Taking that away from... Maybe they're assuming that this Lissandra might be going top, though Ryze can definitely be flexed to top lane as well.
That's true, yeah. It's honestly, both of these picks are pretty flexible. We see,
Karthus the Elise ban is interesting.
Probably just, again, looks like they're really focusing down onto Note, probably just trying to take away comfort, force him onto something he's, or at least they perceive him as less comfortable on. Of course,
I definitely see.
I do have to call out, we've seen Elise support from Griffin in the LCK, but with an Alistar locked in, that probably wasn't the case.
Mm-hmm. This isn't Master Yi. No, Lee Sin.
That's what I'm talking about.
He plays a good amount of Lee Sin. So I'm pretty surprised that they went for an Elise ban over a Lee Sin ban. Especially now the Lee Sin kind of answers the problem that Turtles was going to have with their early game. Now they have a strong early game jungler in the Lee Sin.
Well, I also kind of got to think about it this way, of maybe they knew that if they banned out the Lee Sin, they would pick the Elise, and they felt like they could easier deal with what the Lee Sin brought to the table. Two quick locks, the Gragas and the Zed, coming in as the last two picks for the Eagles. What's interesting is this is still technically a flex. Gragas can go top or mid. Galio gonna be the last.
Is it Galio top lane?
I think it is. It makes sense in this situation when you know you're gonna be against some hard AP. And also, I'm an idiot. It's Gragas jungle.
Of course it's Gragas jungle.
Yeah, I didn't realize I didn't pick their jungle yet. But yeah, so Gragas jungle, Zed mid, Lissandra top. So, kind of good flex on the Galio. I'm gonna say
there's some scary Orianna ball delivery here.
Yeah, yep. This is a team fighting team from the Turtles. Like they want to, like we said, kind of last out this laning phase. Galio's probably going to get shoved in versus Lissandra. Caitlyn, probably going to get shoved in against Sivir Karma with the Alistar. And then mid lane will probably be pretty equal with the push, but Zed kind of having the advantage there at level 6. But
I definitely see the Eagles. The Eagles definitely want to make picks with their team comp. And then hopefully the Sivir late game will carry them through the late game team fights if it gets there.
Absolutely. They definitely, Eagles, as we wait out the 3-minute spectator delay, Eagles definitely have a bit more of a 4-1 comp. They want to have that Zed off in the side split pushing when, if he gets, strong enough to 1v1 anyone, and then try and have Lissandra as a bit of their engage later in the game if they get to that point. But
I think the Galio is such a good pick into the Zed here because the Zed is going to go on one specific target, and if the Galio can respond fast enough, then they can ult them, and then they'll take so much less damage.
Definitely. But you can also see what they want their wombo combo to be. You want to put the Orianna ball on the Alistar. Alistar goes into an Oriole, into a Galio ult. And that will...
Oh, yeah.
They want to try and delete the team that way. But the more I look at this, this actually looks like a bit more of maybe a 1-3-1 comp from the Eagles. Just because, I mean, Gragas, Sivir, and Karma are some of the best, disengaged champions in the game.
Oh, yeah.
Also, as the chat is pointing out, the Galio ult doesn't give damage reduction anymore when he ults a target, so not too much against Zed, but it does give another body in the fight against the Zed. So
that's true.
Good call in the chat.
And also, the Galio is a good answer to the Zed split push, because the Zed isn't really going to be able to kill the Galio in the side lane.
It depends on what the Galio builds. If he's building for the 1v1 against Lissandra, then maybe. But...
True.
Yeah.
If this Galio goes full tank, I can definitely see him being a big problem for the Eagles in the late game, because they don't really have, like, the Sivir, definitely, but other than that, they don't really have a great way of dealing with the Galio's tankiness.
Yeah,
there's just not as much consistent damage.
I mean, Sivir does a lot, but you're right. It is a Sivir. She's a short-range carry. You know, if she's walking up to try and put damage on the Galio, you can probably get her in range for the Lee Sin or for the Alistar. I think in general, the Turtles have, if they can survive their early game, they have a bit easier of an comp to execute in the late game. But yeah, the ability for the Eagles to just kind of go around and make picks with the Lissandra ult, the Gragas ult, the Zed ult, and then the Sivir and Karma speed ups. Like, if anyone mispositions on the Turtles in the late game, they're gonna get caught.
Yeah, the Eagles definitely want to focus on getting vision control in the jungles. Because if the Eagles get that vision control settled down, they can make these picks, and then they can take every objective in a 5v4. And depending on who they pick out, then it'll be a really strong 5v4 that they have, with the Lissandra flanking in, hopefully getting a large ult as we load into this game.
Yep. And something we didn't touch on either, the Lissandra nerfs that came through actually don't really affect her top lane that much, because the focus of the nerfs with the Q mana cost change and the E damage change were to reduce her ability to shove out a wave and roam. But in top lane, you're not really looking to do that. You're just kind of looking to neutralize and farm up, and then, roam and start grouping with your team later in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Loading in, I should transition the scene. All right. Just looking across, but yeah, that doesn't so those nerfs actually won't affect too much. Just Slim has to be a bit more careful with the mana. Looking across rune choices, nothing really out of the ordinary here. Everyone kind of taking the expected rune choices, so
yeah, definitely standard.
Yeah, not much craziness going on there.
I'm gonna take a look at the...
Something we didn't point out, though, that is important to note. There is the exhaust on the Orianna, so there will be... that damage reduction to go down onto the Zed whenever he ults in, so...
Yeah, that's gonna be really strong against the Zed in the lane, at least. It takes away a lot of his kill pressure. Mm-hmm. As well as, the Orianna into Zed matchup is pretty leaning towards the Orianna, because if she can manage her mana well, her mana pool she can just poke him out of lane. But it's definitely going to be a skill matchup in the mid lane.
It's a tricky one. It's definitely a skill matchup, and I'd give the Zed the edge at level 6, but the exhaust kind of evens the playing field, and it is pretty important to have an exhaust against an assassin like Zed, and with Alistar taking that ignite for a bit more kill pressure, it's good of Dognaut to kind of twist and take the exhaust instead.
Yeah, I definitely like the adaptation to take the exhaust for Dog, because the other choice was probably a cleanse for the Lissandra ult, potentially, if they were against that lane. Alright, I am loading in.
Alright, looks like we are getting into the match. So, this is game 1 of the Wildfire Eagles against the Timid Turtles. On the blue side, it is the Eagles. In the top lane, Slim Frusa on that Lissandra. The jungle, Behemoth 911 on the Gragas. Mid lane, Burgers and Fries on the Zed. And bot lane of Edie Dubs on Sivir. And Manbear Horsepig on Karma.
And on the red side, we got the...
Timid Turtles.
Timid Turtles. We got La Petite Ficus in the top lane. Note on Lee Sin in the jungle. We got Dog Knat?
Not.
Dog Knot on Orianna in the mid lane, and then Super Jew and Tertran in the bot lane as Caitlyn and Alistar.
Yep, so it looks like it's just going to be a standard 5-man fan in the early game. No one wants to try anything too cheeky in game 1.
Indeed.
Yep, so not too much action. A little bit of movement in the top side from the Eagles, just maybe trying to spot something out, but no wards go down even, so it's just going to be pretty standard starts here.
Yeah, I'm definitely seeing the early game potential going towards the Turtles for this particular game. Note on that Lee Sin is definitely going to provide some pressure that the Gragas just doesn't have early, other than maybe a flash body slam. But because the Gragas didn't go Predator, those ganks are going to be very telegraphed, rather than speedy little behemoth coming in from the side.
And as we noted, the Eagles should have priority in a lot of their lanes. So, I mean, priority is good because it means that, there's a lot of places for your jungle to counter gank. It just also means there's a lot of places for the other jungle to gank. But it gives Gragas a little bit of freedom if he wants to try and go for invades, try and get some deep vision down, things like that. So both junglers starting their red buffs, so it's going to be a bit of opposed starts here. We'll have to see if anyone goes for the cheeky, vertical jungling.
Yeah, Gragas seems to be going for the chickens, while Lee Sin looks like they're probably going to gank top lane.
Yeah, it might be a level 2 going on.
It's a level 2 gank in top lane.
Yeah, Lee Sin going in. Note, he lands that first Q. The red buff slow goes down. The tag from Galio flashing forward, but Slim is going to trade his own flash and manages to get out. On low health, only level 1 in the Lissandra, so good gank. Out of Note, it's just a trade of flashes so far. And yeah, the response from Behemoth is smart. Sees the Lee Sin up top and goes and just decides to trade the blue buff because that's going to happen anyway.
We have a vertical jungle path, and I really like this from the Lee Sin, abusing that early game. By forcing the Lissandra's flash, that makes a follow-up gank a lot stronger, as well as frees himself up to go into that top jungle with a lot of safety.
But at the same time, Galio blew his own flash as well, so that could be a potential target for Behemoth. As you said, the flash body slam is a pretty viable gank opportunity, especially on a flashless target.
Oh, absolutely. It looks like this Alistar is getting poked out pretty heavily by this Karma, which I really like from the Karma, abusing the fact that the Alistar is melee.
It's what you should expect from the matchup, yeah.
I saw the cannon minion die. Oh, it's so sad.
Yeah,
man.
Manbear's just going
the Ignite is down.
Yep, they have the Gragas as support to knock backward, and it's going to be Manbear Horsepick picking up that first blood. Caitlyn burning both summoners as well, so that is a massive advantage for the Eagles. Manbear, of course, burning his flash and ignite, but EDW still has both of his available. Yeah, and Lee Sin responding with the gang top. Slim still doesn't have flash. Trying to get as much damage down onto the Galio. Doesn't quite get out of that top, but Ficus is going low. Slim might be able to pick up this kill. Galio smartly walks into the bush. He's coming back forward. Slim dancing around the minions nicely.
Slim is dancing around these minions so well, but it's just not going to be enough.
Yeah, finally the auto attacks are enough to take him down. Looks like he was kind of running out of mana, and Lissandra cooldowns are kind of long early. So that is going to be the trade across the map, but still... Ooh, Behemoth goes in. Note is low, has to flash away. Behemoth, did use his flash to get that, so can't really chase. Burger's coming up. He sees the Galio. The taunt comes down, but so does Ignite, and Burger's going to pick up that solo kill.
Yeah, Burger's going to take that kill.
Note's sitting under tower. He's getting a bit pinched. They could try and go for this. The flash Q and another pickup. The blue buff onto the Zed as well. That was super clean.
Yeah, the Eagles are really just finding the overstaying top side of the map for the Turtles and punishing it really heavily. The roam up from the Zed is really, really smart here because he probably assumed that the Galio, that La Petite really wanted to stay and get that farm.
Oh, and now Behemoth is still here. Ficus had teleported back into lane. Don't think they're going to be able to kill him. The Aftershock combined with him already completing that Negatron cloak makes him a little bit too tanky, but still, it's just continued pressure trying to get Slim back in the game.
Yeah, the Eagles are doing a really good job of punishing this Galio for that early game flash. And I really like that they're punishing him rather than leaving him out to dry. Oh, and engaged in the bot lane?
Yep, Tetrin going in. They have their Lee Sin for support, but he's still kind of far. So, honestly, the poke just going to be traded back. Meanwhile, Rise in the mid lane, or Burgers, I'm going to call him. Burgers in the mid lane just doing a good job of pushing his advantage onto Dognot. Dognot doesn't have flash. I have no idea when that got blown.
Yeah, I wonder where that was blown.
Maybe there was a trade mid lane which enabled... Because it looks like it's a little bit before Burgers' flash went down, so there was probably a good trade in the mid lane while the fight top was happening, which is why Dognot backed and Burgers had the priority in order to go and get that top lane gank off. That's what I'm going to assume happened.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back and maybe check that out, actually.
Sure. Well, actually, it looks like there might be a fight around this Infernal Dragon. The Eagles are starting it up. They've caught out Note a little bit. Burgers is here. Not quite level 6, but still does enough damage. Killing spree now for Burgers and Fries, as Note just gets a bit caught out trying to stop this dragon. And that's kind of the chase down potential of this Eagles team before they're even level 6.
Yeah, the Eagles had the first roam on that fire dragon, and when Note was going to ward it and take that scuttle crab, he just kind of got caught out by all the members on Eagles and just punished really heavily for it.
And another roam here from Burgers. He has level 6 on the Zed now, looking to get an early kill onto the lane that's seen no action. Well, besides that first blood, I should say. Probably onto the Caitlyn, who's farming up pretty well. Has about a 10 CS lead over Dubs.
Here they go in?
Dubs, yep, they're trying to bait it in, but Gragas is here, so is Zed. Zed goes in, pops the ult, gets the easy kill. Tetra now has flash available, but opted not to use it. Instead, just going to go down. It's now a 6-1 advantage for the Eagles, with 4 of those kills being on that Zed.
Yeah, the Eagles are really doing a great job of just completely shutting down this Lee Sin's early game pressure with all of these roams from Zed and the Gragas going for these early ganks. They're really shutting down this Lee Sin's early game presence.
I mean, it's like we said, the Lee Sin is kind of all the early presence this team has. The rest of the lanes, all the lanes I should say, kind of have the priority, which is enabling them, the Eagles, to get these fast collapses, to get these roams off, so they can always be at the fight first.
Yeah, I will say though that that if this game does go long, the Turtles are going to be in a much scarier threat.
Oh, for sure.
The Orianna damage, the Caitlyn range poke, plus the heavy engage and large front line are going to be really scary.
Yeah.
The Eagles definitely want to keep this pressure up and keep them down. If it equalizes here with just about a 3k gold lead, I can definitely see them stalling out the game long enough for these advantages to not matter.
Yep, that was the caveat we said in Champ Select, is that Timid Turtles have looks like a better late game comp if they can get there. So right now the onus is kind of on the Eagles. They have the lead, so they have to be the ones pushing this lead and making sure that they keep themselves ahead. It's on them to make the mistake now. It looks like there's
just a couple of trades up in the top lane.
Yeah, it looks like on the map there's a lot of action around, just kind of fighting over Vision in this Infernal Dragon. Neither team really wanting to give this one up here. It's going to be... I mean, Infernal Dragon, they buff first dragons across the board, so getting that first Infernal really is a pretty big damage buff. And here comes Behemoth, doesn't quite get the steal.
From Note.
Yep, Note, it got level 6 off that as well.
Here.
Amazing Gragas ult from Behemoth. They're going to give that kill over to Burgers, 5-0-1 on the Zed now.
Man,
nice little cheeky handoff.
In the jungle, like I was saying in Champ Select, getting the vision control in the Turtles jungle is really doing them wonders for this early game.
Yeah, now it's Slim.
Slim looking for a die, maybe?
Maybe, but minions weren't quite in position. But yeah, with Note dead, this is going to be an easy dragon pickup for the Eagles. And Slim, I think he's still looking for this. Ooh, gets the
thinking about it.
off. Yeah, I think he was trying to bait out the taunt there, so he knew he'd be safe for the dive.
There it
drop.
is.
Oh, he self-ults himself. I thought he had dropped the ultimate, but that was just the W. That skin is confusing sometimes. But yeah, nice solo kill, and Ficus just not recognizing that he needed to back off. And
Ficus just seemed like he was greeting for the farm a little bit there, maybe hoping to get a taunt under the tower.
And
but
honestly,
Slim just played it really well.
Honestly, good on Slim, kind of recovering after that first gank. He had been down about 10-15 CS, and now it's kind of flipped the script up about 20-25 on the Galio.
Yeah, I will say though that with all these roams that Zed is making, that the Orianna and the Zed having equal farm is pretty unfortunate for the Orianna. Here comes, oh no,
Ooh,
oh
and
no,
yep, Zed was waiting for a note. The Galio ult comes
Galio
in,
ult.
double flashes, and that flash is actually going to get note to safety. Ficus's ult not really doing that much there, so it's a big cooldown blown, but note does survive. And gets both the Zed summoners.
Yeah, getting both of the summoners out of the Zed is going to take away a lot of his pressure. Gifting over the blue buff over there. Hopefully we can get a little bit of breather time. It feels like this game has been just non-stop.
Well, I mean, again, that's what we said the Eagles need to do. They need to keep up this pressure, and they've been doing just that. They rotate their bot lane up into the top. They recognize that they have, you know, that a little bit of extra pressure to try and push down these turrets. And with Galio staying up here in the bot lane, rotating up, this is going to be free first tower in the bot lane for Slim.
Yeah, Slim is just gonna there's no answer from the turtles on this roam. Although
the answer would be to hard engage here. Ooh, the miss onto the Alistar. He's going for the Sivir, but Sivir pops the ult, manages to get away. Tetra not level 6, he's squishy, but flashes in, knocks Behemoth sideways though. The taunt is gonna land, but again, this 3-man combo from the Eagles is all about disengage. They do just that, and now Burger's roaming up, maybe looking for another pick. Dognot sees him. The flash forward from... That was so much damage. Behemoth going to help secure that kill, but it's another one onto the Zed. And yeah, it's just like we said. In this case, 3-3-1. The top... that core group from the Eagles is so good at disengaging and not getting caught out in fights like that. And then the Zed just roams up and they pick up a kill on the backside.
Yeah, it looked like a really smart play from the Turtles to punish the lane switch. But it just didn't work. There's too much disengage from the Karma and the Caitlyn being able to net away and put down the traps that they just couldn't do anything. Yeah,
and the Sivir popping her ult to get out and dropping vision in the bush, and then little bit of a misplay from Tetra, and he had he got that flash knockup. Ooh, flash from Slim, trying to finish off this tower, but notes here as well. Slim, nice self-ult. I don't know if he's going to be able to finish this tower, though. That's the only plan. The kick from Lee is enough to stop it, and yeah, little bit greedy there from Slim.
He just greedy for that tower.
Yeah, little greedy, but...
This is exactly what the Turtles need, though. The Turtles need to find the Eagles just making these small mistakes. No need to punish them. They need to find a good pick with the Alistar-Orianna combo. Because otherwise, this game is starting to spiral a little bit out of control. The Eagles are up 6,000 gold.
I'm curious if that was a spectator bug or not. Slim had died right next to the tower, and then when his Demolish came off cooldown, the Demolish ticks started going down to the tower. I don't know if that's a spectator bug or not, but it was interesting. But
I hope so.
Eagles are going to get the first tower regardless. Burger's getting that solo gold in the top lane. And a quick check, he has double Dognot's gold.
Jeez.
He has 6,500. Yeah, it's almost double. It's 6,500 to 3,400. Yeah. Oh my God, this Zed is scary. This is the Zeds This is their Zed. This is enemy team Zed in here solo queue games. And the flash and plates from
spectator bug, but
hard to say. Though. Yeah, it does live through it. Yeah, that actually kind of looked like. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, say as a spectator buff. They're going on to Tetran, though. Finally pops his ultimate. Manbear gonna pick up that one with the Ignite. And actually on the top side, Burgers and Fries got caught out. Stayed a little bit longer than he should have to try and kill Super Jew. And Note got that huge shutdown for himself. So across the map, it is a net win for the Eagles, getting this bot tower and now dropping the Rift Herald, which I didn't even see them pick up Rift Herald. That's how
fast they got the Rift Herald right after the top lane play. And it just seems like everything seems to be falling into place for the Eagles. Now they're up just over 7k gold.
Yep, and it looks like Dragon coming up is going to be an Ocean Drake, so, you know, probably not exactly what they want, but, you know, again, still useful, still a good Dragon to have, especially with the first Dragon buffs.
If you're the Turtles in this scenario, you gotta be wondering, what is our avenues for coming back into this game? Because we're down 7k gold. We need to find a team fight somehow where we get this Wombo combo that we drafted.
I mean, at this point, you gotta just make like your name and turtle. Just sit under your towers, pick up as much farm as you can. Whoops, I just knocked my thing away. There we go. Sorry, I just knocked my camera. But Yeah, they just got a turtle. They don't have an item on any of their carries yet. Oriana had to go for that Seekers to not die to Zed, so her Lost Chapter item was delayed. Caitlyn, not even enough gold to finish that IE yet due to the shorter laning phase. And they just don't really have the damage to win a fight. They just need to sit back, turtle, and farm.
Yeah, I was about to say that the turtles are doing a pretty good job of keeping even and farm at the very least, except for that top lane.
Yeah, that's a
Slim is sitting at just about double. And this Galio is just not going to be tanky enough to deal with being in the front line.
Well, that is a detriment of that lane swap play that when they tried to punish, because they kept all 5 top, and meanwhile Slim was just picking up wave after wave in the bot lane. So he managed to get
perfect farming. Here comes in.
Yep, and the Galio ult comes down, not going to hit anyone. No, taking a ton of damage. Ficus tries to go back in, might get rooted up here by the Karma. The speed up is there. He pops the taunt to try and dissuade any follow-up, and it's just going to be a disengage. So again, they try to go for the play, but don't really have anything to catch with.
And all this time, Burgers is just pushing the bot lane.
Yep, he's just been staying down there, like we said, sticking the 4-1. And
it feels like they just... The Turtles need to force a play. They need to find something. They need to commit, but they just can't find it.
Yeah, right now they're just trying to get control back in their own jungle. Look at how many blue wards are scattered all across this top side. The Eagles are... It's like they're prepping Baron, but Baron's not even up for another 3.5.
Yeah, but it feels like this game is accelerated so far that the Eagles are playing at 30, and the Turtles are just wanting to play at 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's definitely a well-done snowball by the Eagles. This is, though, sometimes... Ooh, nice flash kick from Note. The flash away from Karma might be enough. Tetran's still in the fight, but Behemoth now just turning it back around. There's no damage here from the Turtles. None of their carries were in this fight. Behemoth now flashing away. The knockup from Ficus. He's still up at half health. Flash forward from Ficus. Gets the big taunt. Behemoth going low. Pops the barrel, and finally Sivir gets into this fight and does some damage. Meanwhile, bot lane, yep, Zed's going to ult in onto the Orianna, the flash away, and the exhaust comes out, so Dognot's going to be able to survive this, and Fry's, nice jump back to the shadow to dodge that ultimate and get himself out alive.
Yeah, it looked like a really amazing engage from the Turtles, and this 3-man squad from the Eagles is just doing so well at disengaging and staying alive the whole time.
Well, the big thing from the Turtles there was that neither of their carries were there. Dognot was off farming against the Zed in the bot lane, and Caitlyn was going away from mid. Meanwhile, it looks like they popped down onto Note. Yep, that pickup going to go over to Manpair once again. 4-0-5 on the Karma. Jesus, that's...
Yeah, this Karma pick is doing such great work in this early game. Completely shutting down the bot lane from the Turtles. Super Jew and Tetran are down, like, they just have no agency in this game. This Caitlyn isn't going to be able to do anything until she gets at least 2 items.
Yeah, and now thing is where the test comes in for the Eagles. They have this massive 11k gold league, but they've broken all the outer towers. Baron and Dragon are both up in a minute and a half, and the inhibitor towers are still pretty hard to siege, even if, you know, you have a big lead like this. There's still a Galio, a Lee Sin, an Orianna, and an Alistar on the other team. So it's not like there's no method of engage, but...
Yeah, the Turtles definitely... I won't say the Turtles are out of this game, because they have such an incredible team fight, Wombo combo, that they could just blow up the Eagles out of nowhere, and then that's like 3,000, 4,000 gold going over.
I mean, we saw in the top lane, we saw how long they could keep a single target CC'd, but at this point, where's the damage coming from? Like, Caitlyn and Orianna still haven't finished items.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta hope that the Lee Sin, at least with his warrior and his phage, is gonna be able to kill someone. Like, hopefully, maybe on something like the Sivir or the Karma, you get a lucky kick back and then CC them down to death.
They're going to have to get a couple lucky kicks, because they're down over 10k pre-20 minutes. That is a massive lead. But again, the onus is kind of on the Eagles of what do they do now? Do they try and siege down these inhibitors? Do they turn for the Baron and the Dragon? Like, this is the part where, I mean, at least in solo queue, this is where the games stall out. You let the enemy team farm back up, and they come back and win every time.
Yeah, 100% of the time. This is where you dive the enemy fountain and and the enemy team runs it down mid, and you just get picked off one by one.
Yep, and it just keeps happening because you have that cocky lead. So the Eagles just need to not get cocky, basically. They need to play smart, and I think trying to go for this early Baron is honestly the right call here. They have Fries in the bot lane. He's going for the play here. Oriana's in, and he's going to just die. I mean, I understand why he did it. He was just trying to buy time, but, like...
That's a lot of gold going over to that Oriana, though.
Yeah, exactly. That puts the Oriana back in the game. They don't do this Baron that fast. Slim here just
coming in.
Yeah, Slim just trying to delay here. The kick onto, and he's going to have to self-ult to survive.
The Galio.
Yep, Galio's coming in. About 3k health on Baron. Slim flashing over the wall. Still gets taunted up. But again, there's no damage coming out of this team. Tetrin gets in the backside. Note still waiting.
Galio's ulting in.
Comes down. Tetrin is dead. Galio is dead. And now it's just on Note. Can he make the miracle steal?
For a steal here.
He goes in. Doesn't get it. Both smites miss. And it's actually Slim that picks up that Baron. But overall... Oh, looks like we have a bit of a pause.
Pause in here.
Yeah, it looks like Zed Burgers had some lag issues and had to disconnect. Good of them to wait till after the fight to do it, but...
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, right now...
I feel like the Eagles maybe might have forced this a little bit hard.
Definitely.
The Zed dying in the bot lane and then them cleaning up these kills and getting the Baron was definitely worth it, but I hesitate to call this, like, the cleanest play, because, like, imagine if the Caitlyn or Oriana had been there just, like, a minute earlier, or, like, 10 seconds earlier.
I mean, here's the thing, because the Oriana, yes, maybe the Caitlyn was there the whole time, hitting over the wall and just not doing damage. I do think it is a bit of a mistake from the Eagles that it had to come down to the 50-50 like that, but by the same play, like, none of them were ever really in danger of dying. Like,
I mean, Slim was getting pretty low.
Slim was getting low, but, I mean, he got back out over the wall. The Alistar came in, the Galio came in, and just the way they kind of positioned themselves around that fight. Like, from a team fight perspective, that was actually very well played by the Eagles, considering the gold advantages that they have.
Yeah, I will say quietly that ED Dubs has 2 items on this Sivir, and has a 750 gold bounty.
Yep, and a lot of that, you know, it's not even really a farm league, because even farming with Super Jew, but yeah, just 3-0 and 6, 4-0 and 8 on the Karma as well. The bot lane have just been, you know, around and surviving in these fights, and just quietly, yeah, dishing out a ton of damage. Haven't been too flashy, but been doing their jobs, basically.
Really consistent play from the bot lane here.
Exactly.
Like, the Karma and the Sivir combo here is really hard to kill and really hard to die from the turtle side. And, like, at this point, like, you got to be thinking about game 2 and, like, how do we answer this? Like, what's our answer? We drafted this awesome team.
Ooh, Slim goes in and gets the solo kill on Note. Note just trying to take that, oh my god, the flash away, not quite enough for Super Jew. Tried to flash that barrel, and yeah, Tetrin just gonna die under the tower as well. And all of a sudden, there's only 2 members of the Turtles left. And honestly, I think this is Eagles winning the game. I don't know.
They got Baron.
Yeah, they have Baron. They're pushing in all 3 lanes. I don't know if the Turtles can realistically stop them from taking everything here. The Sivir ult gets popped. It looks like it's just to rotate around. Farm's still getting cleared, and yeah, actually, there's the surrender coming in from the Turtles. So in 22, just about 23 minutes, the Eagles are going to take game 1.
Yeah, you got to look at this game from the Turtles and wonder what went wrong. Because the early game play that, like, at 2 minutes, where the Lee Sin went top lane, was really smart. It blew the Lissandra's flash, and you want to make that follow-up play to get them ahead, but
leave spectators
the bot lane was
lobby.
Yeah, the bot lane was playing, like, a little bit too far forward. And just by playing just a little bit too far forward, they didn't have the jungler to defend them, and they had to know that the Gragas was jungling over to that blue buff after he saw the Lee Sin topside. And, like, you need to expect a gank coming in there. And I feel like if they played that early game just a little bit safer, knowing that they didn't have the priority, knowing that they could get dive, that the Lee Sin could have really taken over that game by blowing Slim's flash and coming back to that top side and getting this Galio ahead to the point that he couldn't die. But the roams from Burger were just so so good this game.
Honestly, I think a big thing it comes down to is the draft. They drafted 3 losing lanes and got hard punished for it.
They really did. They really needed that Lee Sin to, like, to be their early game kind of catalyst, but it just never happened. They couldn't do anything.
Dropping the spectate?
Yeah, let me jump in the spectate.
Let me just fix my overlays for this.
So I feel like in this particular scenario, the MVP for that last game, I feel like it's got to go to Behemoth personally. Because he did such a good job punishing and making those ganks happen in the early game that really put the Zed ahead, really put the bot lane ahead.
He was pretty all over the place. I mean, shout out to Burgers as well. Kind of all over the place. And honestly, I was considering Slim in the top lane just being, like, kind of being all over the map there. And just doing what he needed to do, getting a couple different solo kills. But yeah, the whole team played well. But yeah, I agree. Behemoth just was where he needed to be at all points in time. Absolutely.
And you gotta wonder, they spent so much time, as we get back into pick ban, targeting... They targeted down the jungler on Note, and I feel like it was the right call because Note just couldn't carry from that early game position.
Yep, so getting back in, I'm going to ask you to carry this real quick while I grab water. I didn't want to delay them by making them wait, but I'll be back in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we're seeing some of the same bans coming in again. Quinn and Evelyn banned out on either side. Seems like Note might be very, very good at Evelyn. Obviously, I have not seen him play Evelyn before, but apparently the Eagles have seen him play and have seen his match history and know that he's a very good Evelyn. I'm seeing the same bans coming out from the Turtles so far here, and I wonder if they're going to adapt in some way, because the early game just went so poorly for the Turtles that you need to draft a winning lane here. Like, give Ficus a way to get ahead. Give Dognot a way to get ahead. Give Super Jew and Tetrin like an early game powerhouse like Lucian or a really strong early game lane, and just have the ability to make those early plays to get ahead, to give the chance to get ahead.
I will say, you weren't watching the games last night. Note is pretty good at Evelyn. He played it in game 2 last night, which was quite a match. He put up a pretty big performance, and also, chat, you cannot hide from me. I see all. And yeah, that's a good pivot from the Turtles,
like this,
grabbing that Lysandra for themselves first.
Absolutely,
because that also kind of denies the Zed pick, because they can just put the Lysandra into the Zed.
Exactly. Overall, I feel like having the same bans on both sides here with no adaptations, I think it almost favors the Turtles more, because now they can take the Lysandra, they can take the Zed if not Dognot plays it.
I mean, the Zed was more the answer to the Orianna, and I really don't expect the blind pick Orianna to come out of the Eagles here. So,
no.
Yeah, and remember, that Zed was basically the last pick out of the Eagles, too, so looks like the Jarvan gonna be the pickup for Behemoth this game. Yeah, this time he wants to have even more early aggression.
Yeah, the Gragas pick was already doing so well, and now with Jarvan, who's even more early game present than the Gragas, is going to be just so powerful in that early game. I hope Note has an answer to this Jarvan. Hopefully something like, maybe he picks the Gragas, maybe he picks a Vayne though.
Vayne, interesting pickup here, picking it into the Sivir. Vayne's early game did get a bit better with the discovery, I guess, of the Hail of Blades. Actually, it was the change to Hail of Blades that allowed the auto attack resets not affected. So Vayne's early game got a little bit better, but still probably not as good as Sivir's. I mean, Sivir not known for the best early game, but has that shove priority, and Vayne doesn't have waves clear. But, as we should probably bring up, Note gets his Elise this time.
Yes, and I feel like this is so important for the Turtles to have this early game Lysandra and the Elite. To have this jungler that Note is comfortable on, that he can go to the lanes and land the cocoons and be the AP carry that they need from the jungle.
I really like this Morgana ban when you have that tank support in the bot lane, because Morgana just shuts down so much of what tank supports, and specifically a Nautilus, wants to do.
Yeah, absolutely. The Nautilus could also flex the top lane. I have seen it.
I mean, at this point, technically the Jarvan could flex the top lane as well, but...
That's true. However, I do say that the Nautilus support is really, really good into the Vayne, because it's really powerful at shutting down the Vayne's mobility.
Yep, and again, Lulu...
Yeah, Morgana and Lulu are really good bans against the Vayne. Specifically the Vayne lane, because having a Lulu, having a Morgana buff up the Vayne and keep the Vayne from being CC'd or being killed helps immensely in that bot lane, and would have been a thorn in their side come the late game.
And on the other side, okay, that Gnar ban signals something to me. That signals that they want to pick Shen.
Yeah.
Like, Gnar is kind of the traditional... It is Jarvan top. Called it. That's a new to jungle. Called it. I know Slim. I know Slim too damn well. That's Jarvan top.
Wow, the Jarvan top coming out. I feel like this could go either really well or really poorly, though. The Jarvan, if he gets behind in top lane, will just get completely shut down.
Oh, for sure. Tahm Kench is a smart pick up here with the Nautilus on the other side.
Very, very smart pick coming out from Tetran.
So, this time, they pick the losing lane in the bot lane, but this is a lane that loses way more gracefully, or at least should.
Yeah, absolutely. The Vayne will farm up and be a stronger presence, hopefully, than the Sivir come the mid-game and late game. And then the Sion pick in the top lane, if they lock it in, this Sion pick, once he gets some armor, that Jarvan is not going to be able to get through this Sion.
Alright, but maybe it's a triple flex and
oh my gosh, is it the triple flex?
I was going to say, and it's Jarvan, mid.
Is it Jarvan jungle, Nautilus top, Kennen mid?
No, it's Jarvan mid.
Jarvan mid?
No, this is a Jarvan mid, Kennen top.
Is this a Jarvan mid, Kennen top? Oh my god, the Eagles with the mind games.
Yeah, that's some very clever drafting there. You know, the Jarvan, I'm probably not going to have a great time into the Lissandra, I'll be honest, but having the Kennen into that Sion to try and stop him from becoming that super tank, and also, man, we talked about the engage on the side of the Turtles last game. Look at this Eagles team comp. That's some engage.
Yeah, that's scary. Like, oh man, the Eagles really playing 4D chess against the Turtles here with the like triple flex into the game. However, I will say that the standard lanes from Turtle, like looking at this like standard lanes, I feel like Turtles has an edge, because if the Sion doesn't get shut down by the Kennen, and if the Sivir and Nautilus can't find the right engages onto the Vayne and Tahm Kench, I feel like this Lissandra is just gonna take over the mid lane, because I don't see the Jarvan being able to find the strong engages onto the Lissandra.
Well, first off, I want to say it was a smart swap by the Jarvan to change over to that cleanse, being against the Lissandra and the Elise specifically.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I kind of see this, like, from a lane setup point of view, it's honestly pretty similar to last game. You have the AP carry versus the tank in the top lane. You have the early game jungler versus the not as early game jungler, but still an early game jungler. The kind of neutralizing mid lane pick versus the assassin, because Jarvan mid is an assassin.
Of course.
And then the bot lane, I mean, it's the, try and lose gracefully bot lane and scale up versus the push power of the Sivir Nautilus. It's, from just kind of a macro sense, it's the same as last game, just with different champs.
Yeah, however, I will say that I feel like the Sion has a much better way of not dying than the Galio. The Galio, while tanky for sure, after his flash is gone, it is very difficult, and he is surprisingly squishy if you do not get ahead. And the Scion is just so naturally tanky. And
after a certain point, yes.
Yeah, after a certain point.
And he has to farm up. And that was the thing we saw last game. He wasn't getting that much farm. But yeah, Scion has to farm up and get items to become the unkillable super tank.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm curious about this Nunu pick. I feel like the Nunu is really strong at like power farming and over leveling the enemy jungler. But last game we saw that Behemoth was making the ganks, making the plays.
I don't know. New Nunu is actually a really strong ganker with that biggest snowball ever. He can force flashes.
So telegraphed.
It is, but I mean, it's huge. You have to flash away from it, and then next time you can't flash. It's like the Grox engage.
Yeah, but the solo lanes or the bottom side of the map here from Turtles, and I'm not trying to take anything away from I feel like I'm talking about the Turtles all the time and the Eagles. I feel like Eagles team is really good, and the draft that they did was really great. But they specifically against the Nunu, the Lysandra has the E, can get away from with her claw.
Yeah.
The Vayne can tumble away, and the Tahm Kench can eat them, and they won't get knocked up by the snowball. They have ways to survive these ganks this time that they didn't really have in the last game.
That's true. I feel like the modus operandi for the Eagles, though, is just going to be try and kill this Tahm Kench as much as possible. Because Tahm Kench is super squishy early game and, like, doesn't really have that much power himself to get away from the ganks, so...
Absolutely.
That's kind of
And also to punish the Scion in the top lane. They definitely want to win by killing the Tahm Kench in the...
Yeah, that's the thing. If the Kennen gets behind, they have problems. The Eagles have some problems.
If the Kennen falls behind, if Slim can't quite make it as we load into the loading screen...
Okay.
Here,
I actually like this by Super Jew. I was saying they need to lose lane gracefully, and he recognizes that and doesn't go for the Hail of Blades, goes for the lethal tempo instead, saying, yeah, we're not winning this lane, I'm going for the late game here with this rune choice.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like that the Scion is taking Grasp to get that tank, as we finally load into the game here.
Yep, and just to run down the teams and rosters one more time, this time on the blue side, it is the Timid Turtles, down 0-1 in this game. In the top lane, they have La Petite Ficus on the Scion. Jungler is Note on the Elise, mid lane Dognut on Lysandra, and the bot lane duo of Super Jew and Tetrin on Vayne and Tahm Kench.
And on the red side, we got the Wildfire Eagles up 1-0 in this series after a strong start. We got Slim Frausa in the top lane on Kennen, as a Pog summon, as I continue my intro. Behemoth 911 on Nunu in the jungle. Burgers and Fries on Jarvan in the mid lane. And then we got ED Dubs and Manbear Horsepig in the bot lane as Sivir and Nautilus.
Alright, and yeah, looks like just a bit of a connection issue here from the Turtles. Should be back into game relatively quickly, thanks to the power of Spectator generally shortening pauses and catching you up a little bit when it does that. But
yeah, absolutely.
It gives us a little bit more time to talk.
Yeah, so I feel like the standard lanes of the Turtles is gonna help them. They're in comfort picks here, I feel. Maybe the Super Jew is gonna struggle with this Vayne because the Vayne is a little bit more mechanically challenging. But Scion, very simple. Lysandra, super simple, and it seems like Note plays Elise pretty commonly. And the top side of this map is now in a place that they are gonna feel okay. The Scion probably feels okay going into this losing matchup, especially with an Elise jungle.
Alright, looks like we're back in the game, and looks like both teams kind of going for that standard fan out again. Actually,
it looks like the Eagles might be setting up for an invade.
Yeah, maybe they're actually all grouping up on the.
Yeah, they're all stacked
side.
5 here.
Yeah, they got Burgers into that front bush. I don't believe he was spotted, so they're just probably looking to someone trying to walk out into the river and get a pick. But right now,
I don't know
all
what
we see is
CC.
Oh, looks like they were trying to bait in Note here. The Sivir auto comes in. The flash hook is going to hit. Note trying to walk away, gets ignited, and first blood goes on to Burgers. And that's what you want if you're the Eagles.
Straight away from the Nautilus. It got him at the very last tip of the Nautilus and pulled him right in, and he got CC locked.
Yep, just nothing he could really do from that point. Once he got hooked, he was probably dead because his flash already blown. And yeah, good commit by Manbear to just immediately yep, I'm flash hook igniting this. Like,
yeah, absolutely. I will say though that now that the flash and ignite is down from the side of Wildfire Eagles in the bot lane, it is going to take a little bit of pressure off of the Super Jew and Tetran in this early game, at least for the first 5 minutes.
That's true, but yeah, it's still
absolutely 100% worth the first blow.
Yeah, and it's probably just going to be them pushed under tower for the most part anyway, I would assume, because, I mean, Sivir's wave clear potential. I mean, the early game it's actually not great just because your mana's so crappy early.
Good trades coming out from the Turtles, though.
Yeah, they're trading pretty well back into this, and Eagles don't have too many tools to use level 1. Need to kind of have all their abilities before they're able to trade super effectively. And now Burger's going in, has that extra longsword for the damage, getting a lot of hits onto Dog Knight.
A ton of poke onto Dog Knight here.
Yeah, Dog Knight not wanting to burn a flash, and actually Burger's going back in. There's the flash coming away. Dog Knight. Ooh. Going in there.
Yeah, this Jarvan pick is turning out to be pretty strong into this Lissandra.
Yep, I mean, getting that early first blood definitely helps, but yeah, just being able to commit over and over when... it helps that he's doing this, pre-level 3 before Lissandra has access to all the abilities. That's the thing, Jarvan's a pretty good champion at level 2, whereas a lot of champions, especially like Lissandra, kind of need all their abilities to be super effective.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how Node is going to handle the current state of the game, because he sees that his top laner is shoved in, and he's going to go up to gank Slim here.
Yep, Slim.
It looks like Slim reads it, though.
Yeah, Thing kind of sniffed out now, was starting to back away.
Ooh, still lands it.
Yeah, Cocoon lands, Ficus lands the E for the slow as well. Slim flashing away from that.
Flash out.
Is that the...
Yeah, that's exactly what Node needed to do. He needed to punish the top side of the map here. It looks like, not, maybe a spectator bug, but looks
nope.
like...
I don't think he was in the bush. Slim saw him and got him.
Oh,
ooh,
no.
Misses the Cocoon, and now Nunu is here as well.
Nunu is here.
Takes a ton of damage. The Elise repels to safety, but now Ficus could be in a little bit of trouble. The stun comes down from Nunu. Slim getting the auto attacks in, but now Ficus is safe. Doesn't even burn a flash, and Slim gets cocooned again, but the Elise Q hits on
the slow lands.
The Nunu instead. Elise flash still down, so they can't really chase this one, and another pause comes in.
Oh, no.
I'm pretty sure the Eagles will get out of this safely, though. There's no...
yeah, there's no more CC coming in from the...
Yeah, no CC, no flashes. Here. They won't really be able to get them, but still.
Yeah, but a little bit of a botched counter gank here. The Eagles coming out on the losing end of this trade. The Nunu having to blow flash here definitely is going to hurt the... that early game power from the Nunu.
Yeah, the counter gank, it was a trade of flashes because Sion did blow his flash during that counter gank, but yeah, almost dying like that and having to go back and lose farm is not what you want to see.
Yeah, definitely not what you want to see. Now the Sion, the wave is in such a good spot for the Sion too.
Yeah, he can just hold this here as long as he wants. Or he can choose to shove it in. Or yeah, he's probably going to hold it for the cannon's TP, then shove it out and use his own TP. But yeah, it's...
Yeah, he could even hold his TP, potentially, if the cannon TP's in, and then he's able to shove out.
That's true. And yep, there's the TP from the cannon. Doesn't get the full charge on that smash, just a little slow damage. But... just like last game, the early gank comes through top, and now Slim is pretty far down in farm.
Yeah, I really like this from the Turtles, going to that top lane after realizing that their bot lane is probably not going to be the strongest or in this early game, that they're probably in this losing scenario. Although I don't really like this go in from the Nautilus.
Yeah, he goes in, gets eaten up by the Tahm Kench. The trades from Sivir were going back onto Vayne. So not really too much gained overall there. And also, credit now to the bot lane for the Turtles. They are up in farm right now. Sivir has picked up that wave. The wave's equalizing, and yeah, they have about a wave lead in farm just through laning mechanics.
Yeah, I bet they feel pretty safe at the very least, because this Nautilus has been flashless and also igniteless for the first bit of this laning phase. So they were able to they were able to say, hey, I think we're stronger than them right now, and they're going in for another trade.
Yeah, another hook goes down onto Tahm Kench, and again, it's just trading back, but Sivert doesn't have mana, can't queue for that big amount of passive damage. Note is here, and here comes Behemoth. This could be a really good counter gank for the Turtles.
Yeah,
looks like they're going for Tetrin.
Here he goes in.
He gets rooted up, gets ignited. Note comes in, Tetrin flashes away. The stun against the wall. Manbear will pick up that kill with the ignite, and the Turtles decide it's not worth that follow-up.
Yeah, maybe a little bit late coming in from Note there. He probably should have gone for the stun on the Nunu just to get his bot lane out, because they were about half health, while the Eagles are about just a little bit over half, almost full health. And the Nunu, and I don't think that the Elise had backed at that point yet.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because the tooltip doesn't say it. Is Nunu CC immune while charging the snowball? I know he's slow immune, but I don't know if he's CC immune like the Scion ult.
No, he's not. It will actually cancel the snowball, and it will make it fly out.
Okay. I knew he couldn't be slowed, I just wasn't sure exactly how that works. So yeah,
so if the Elise was able to land the cocoon there, I feel like that's a botch play from the Eagles.
Well, now granted, they didn't really see the Nunu coming, and by the time they did, he was behind minions already. So.
Yeah, Note looks like he's getting caught out here.
Yeah, Note a little caught up. Burgers is level 6, but doesn't want to commit the ult with the Scion right there. It would have been a bit of a 2v3 as Slim was farther behind in the rotation. Now Slim could be no little trouble, but
Slim is going for this trade.
Yeah, no, Behemoth,
because he has the vision.
Yeah, Behemoth had smartly moved up and forced Elise back, but now Slim
Behemoth isn't
staying
here.
a little too long. Yeah, Behemoth had backed off, whereas Note didn't. Slim pops the ultimate, but probably gonna die for this one.
Get out.
He's so low. The slow comes in. Burgers is here for the follow-up and stops Note. That was a little bit greedy again by Slim. He's very lucky to have gotten out alive.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of a misplay from the Turtles there. I feel like they absolutely could have gotten Slim, but heads-up play from the Turtles to punish... it looks like a tower dive bot lane.
Yep, they must have spotted the Tahm Kench roaming up, and now they have Manbear coming in, trying to take the turret aggro, but he hasn't quite gotten it there. Finally picks it up, and Sivir gonna pick it. Actually, goes over to Manbear with that DOT. Tahm Kench now...
That's a little bit unfortunate to have that go over to the Nautilus, but again, a very, very heads-up play from the Eagles again.
Yeah, see that they have the level 6 advantage, see that the... Tahm Kench isn't there, so hey, why not go for it before Super Chew has access to that ultimate?
Yeah, and again, the Eagles are just slowly climbing ahead in this early game.
Yep, about a 2k gold lead around the 8-minute mark. First dragon, by the way, is a Mountain Drake, and none of the teams seem very interested in it.
Yeah, I feel like the Nunu should probably for it, because if they're winning the early game, that Mountain Drake hours in the turret plates really, really fast. And if the Nunu can easily solo that, and if his bot lane has pressure, which it should now, then I see no reason why the Nunu can't take this with the Jarvan and Nautilus hovering around.
Yeah, Nunu can't solo it nearly as well as he used to be able to, but it's still definitely possible. But yeah, until now, the Eagles actually haven't really had pressure in the lane. Super Jew and Tetrin have been pushed up this whole time, so... And plus against Elise, who can just kind of get around the map pretty quick, I understand why he hasn't tried to go for that, but... Yeah.
Right, but now seems like it would be a good time to at least start it up.
Yeah, just try and feel out. Note walking by, though, is in the bot lane.
It looks like they're thinking about it. It looks like they're going to start up this dragon.
Or at least try and fade out.
That Note is here.
Yep, see the ward dropped in the pit now, so they can assume. Yep, Note, the cocoon lands onto Manbear, but Manbear gonna get in. That Nunu ult was huge, did so much damage to Super Jew. A nice save from Tetrin to get his jungler out, but Super Jew is gonna die, and Tetrin gonna fall as well. Behemoth picks up that kill, and ED Dubs did get the kill onto Super Jew, but now Burgess has come down, gonna get the easy electrocute kill onto the Elise, and now this dragon's free.
Yeah, this dragon's super free. That was a really good turnaround from the Eagles. It looked like almost they were baiting it out. Like they knew that Note might be coming, but they had no vision. Maybe it was just kind of unfortunate for the Turtles that...
well, they saw the control ward go into the pit, so that was the cue that, oh, hey, there's people here. Let's turn and stop them. And then the Nautilus just happened to see him and catch for the hook. But something I gotta call out on that play. As soon as that play started happening, Burger started walking, and Dognot just stayed in lane that entire time. Didn't try and roam down at all, and that's going to be first tower.
Yeah, another play.
Yeah, Burger's going in, has the ultimate available. The giant snowball, not really going to find too much there. They decide they don't want to go that far in. They need to back and spend their gold still.
Yeah. I will say, though, that the top lane for the Turtles has a 21 CS lead over Slim. And
that Scion's starting to get there in this tankiness, and
yeah,
Scion gets tanky, he's able to trade pretty well. Actually, how much
Slim is really not gonna get on the winning end of these trades anymore now that the Scion has built a tank. But the Eagles making a really smart adaptation after getting that tower, they bring the bot lane up here, hopefully to keep that Scion down and under his turret.
Yep, same thing we saw last game.
Yeah, just a little bit later.
Yep, they're trying to go by the book. But yeah, Scion already got about 350 health from that passive. So he is going to be a very tanky boy.
Yeah, Scion, I don't know why you're sticking around, buddy.
That's why he has his team, and the hit lands onto Slim. Slim taking so much damage. He flashes forward and gets that ultimate off, but Tetra pops the gray health. The drag back picks up ED jumps that kill, and that stopwatch. Slim may just live here. Finally going to get taken down by the Scion passive, actually, but that's a triple kill for ED Dubs. Dognot going in, and Super Jew is here as well. The flash forward, the shutdown goes onto Dognot. He self-ults himself, but I don't know if he's going to get out of this. Super Jew is here. The flash forward from Burgers and Fries gets stunned against his own wall and has to flash out, but now it's Behemoth going in, sees the Vayne in this, gets the sun off. Burgers and Fries trying to get as much damage as he can. The flag and drag will pick up that kill. Meanwhile, Dognot in a 1v1 with the support, but Manbear has no health. Teleport coming in. They've respawned. It's still early game. The ignite onto Dognot, but too many tower shots taken by Manbear. It's another shutdown onto Dognot, and Ignite's not even going to pick up a kill. So
yeah, absolutely crazy play in the top lane here.
I'm not even sure what the total trade was because of how many people respawned and how long the fight went on.
It was 3 kills over to Turtles, and I think it was 4 over to the Eagles. But that's not a trade you want to be taking as the Eagle.
Yeah, especially
when you're in this position.
Especially because 2 of those were massive shutdowns onto this Lysandra who was behind to try and get him back in the game, and they get some turret plates for themselves as well. So yeah, I think the gold advantage from that play definitely in the favor of the Turtles. I mean, they're still down 5k gold, but it was more before that.
Yeah, and I feel like now the Turtles just want things to slow down a bit. It looks like the Eagles might be setting up another dive under this top lane tower.
I don't
or maybe
think
they're just going to go for the Nunu might just be going for this Rift Herald over here.
I think so, yeah. Burgers wasn't really roaming up from the mid lane still. I think they're just trying to push out so they can pick up this Rift Herald, pick up more waves.
Yeah, I like this. I like that the Tahm Kench is sticking up here, up top lane with the Scion. It gives the Scion a lot of safety and allows the Vayne to just keep that lane frozen down in that bot lane. She's not really threatened by the Kennen, and getting this Vayne farmed up in a safe way while also keeping the Scion safe is going to be really important.
Definitely.
Oh, the Rift Herald is getting dropped top lane though.
Oh yeah, they just drop it immediately, trying to pick this tower.
Scion can't really stick around for this.
Turret plates have already fallen, so this first charge is going to just basically kill it. 1 auto left on the Sivir. Now the Decimating Smash.
That's a lot of damage, though.
Yeah, Scion, if you get that full charge Q, it does a ton of damage. That's why I keep telling you to play him, but they are going to push it all the way in and get that second charge off on this tower.
Here comes the all-in from Scion.
Yeah, Scion, he's a little bit far forward, but this is a 3v5. Burgers and Slim are nowhere near this play, so it was a good look by the Turtles, but Behemoth just going to be able to flash to safety.
Yeah, I need to go back and look at that. Did the Tahm Kench ult? It looks like
he
did.
Yeah, his ult's on cooldown. Yeah, it looks like right now the Eagles, they actually moved Burgers into the bot lane.
Yeah, it looks like the Tahm Kench ulted.
Ooh, engage in the mid lane. Dognot caught up by the Nautilus, but the re-engaged Nautilus still under tower. Just gets CC locked 100-0. No chance to even flash out. That's the power of that Lysandra and the Elise. Just a little too greedy for that kill. Didn't see note there.
the Eagles getting a little bit antsy.
Dragon is up, and they're trying to fight around in the river, but this is a 4v5. Man, Slim! Gets that face check cannon that you always want. Gets almost a solo kill onto the Elise. And now with the jungler dead, that's a free Dragon.
Yeah, there's just no way that the Turtles can come into this fight. Though the cannon ult is down, there's just too much damage from the Sivir and the cannon and the Jarvan. Yeah, and that's another Dragon picked up by the Eagles. And again, I struggle to find too much wrong with the Eagles' early game.
Besides the botch dive, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the botch dive was certainly... But I feel like that was just a good play from the Turtles to recognize that the dive was coming.
Yeah, really, it's just been over-aggression that has been responded to pretty well. And yeah, they have about a 6k gold lead. They've climbed that back up a little bit. Only one outer left to take on the map, and so they smartly put their bot lane to try and push into it. Vayne still doesn't have an item.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of wave clear on the side of the Turtles, because this Lissandra is... Like, the Lissandra is down. At least he has an item this time.
Yeah, but went for the Zhonya's first, which isn't... I mean, it's going to help your survivability. Not going to help you wave clear more, because like we said, the mana and wave clear are like... Yeah, the mana was what was nerfed on the Lissandra to make her wave clear, like, less effective, I guess, because she burns a lot more mana doing it.
Yeah, and...
Honestly, their best wave clear is Scion.
Yeah, I'm looking at this, and I'm thinking about the late game scaling for the Eagles versus the Turtles.
Ooh, and Burgers goes in, flash forward from Manbear, gets the ult down.
That was a great stun.
These are the two tanky members. Yeah, good stun from Ficus is going to get both of them out alive. So, flash ult from Manbear for
biggest snowball ever.
Yeah, the snowball just going to zone away the rest of the team. The Scion ult comes in, hits onto the minions.
The tower.
That tower does go down. Dognot comes in now. Finally, Note going so low. ED Dubs is untouched in this fight. He's just sitting in the back, putting out so much damage. Super Jew is going to get that kill, but Slim with the ultimate. Oh, nice flash and ultimate from Bergs and Fries to pick off that Vayne on the side of the fight. Oh, Dognot almost dies. ED Dubs just doing so much damage on the back side of that fight.
Yeah,
blinking red health bars.
It's a 1-for-1, and with the Eagles coming out way ahead, and now they can get this turret and maybe go set up some more vision around Baron or steal some of the jungle camps here. And that was an engage from the Turtles under a tower, and they just couldn't kill anyone. Yeah,
it was a really, really close fight. Vayne was just getting free autos off onto Behemoth and managed to finally pick up a kill for himself. But yeah, at the same time, ED Dubs was just sitting in the back, just doing Sivir things, throwing out so much damage. Has 2 items at this point. Oh, Slim could be a little caught though.
Really good Tom Kenchel. Yeah, you gotta expect Slim to die here.
Yeah, he doesn't have ult. He doesn't have flash. He's gonna die. The ignite from Tetrin, but Super Jew's actually still gonna pick up the kill. So good to get more gold onto the Vayne. And yeah,
a little bit greedy positioning there from Slim.
Yeah, not respecting Tom Kenchel. But at the same time, Burgers might get a tower off of this. Yeah, drops out the flag for more attack
just
speed.
Doesn't do any damage.
Yep, good pickup of the Merc Treads from Burgers. And yeah, with the Zhonya's on the Sandra's first item, yeah, you survive longer, but you don't do much.
Yeah, you really need to get that Luden's Echo first. I understand wanting to survive.
You do this to almost be a pseudo-tank, but when you do that, you're kind of down to being a one-threat team with Super Jew on the Vayne. I mean, yes, Elise does a lot of damage, but yeah, the point of this Lissandra build is just to buy time. You Ian, self-ult Zhonya's just to try and zone and buy as much time as possible.
Oh no, that ward's gonna stay there.
Oh no. Nope, they've been caught out again.
No, bring it back. Oh, okay, they got it.
Gets the ward.
Alright, win for the Turtles. Got the ward.
But yeah, it's another pretty hefty gold lead here for the Eagles. Just continuing to extend. Baron now live, and Infernal Drake spawning in about 45 seconds, so...
Yeah, I mean...
How'd they pick of the litter?
I wonder about the Turtles' early game here, because it seemed like the Turtles had the right idea in the early game, where they punished Slim for pushing up. and then they won the trade in top lane, and then they were looking for a play in bot lane, and it just the counter gank from Behemoth was so good.
I honestly feel like I'm watching a replay of last game. It's 20 minutes. They have the split pusher on the bot side. Eagles are going for this 20-minute Baron again. Note possibly caught out here. The not also coming down, just going to be used to
they're still on the Baron.
Yep, they are going to secure this. And now we have Slim teleporting in for a flank. The teleport is being channeled by the Scion as well. This is a big catch, a triple knockup and ult in with that Nunu ult on top. And the Turtles are just getting melted. Slim pops his ult as well. Note goes back in for reasons unknown, and all of a sudden that's a 4-for-0 for the Eagles, and they're just going to push with this.
Yeah, that was just an excellent teleport from Slim, and a really smart play from the Eagles to just force that Baron. They understand that the Jarvan and the Nautilus are enough to just keep the Turtles away, and they're just going to get an inhib and probably a lot more.
Yeah, that was the Eagles really showing off the power of that wombo combo that they have. They, had the Jarvan get a triple knockup even through that Scion and Lissandra engage. Put the Nunu ult down on top of the Jarvan ult, and the health bars just disappeared before the Turtles could blink. I'm not even sure. It looks like Lissandra did get an ultimate off, but even through the ult, didn't get a chance to Zhonya, still died.
Yeah. Mike, I didn't know Deja Vu could happen in reverse.
Yeah. This is, it legitimately feels like we're watching the same game. Like, the lane setup is basically the same. The same ganks were gone for early and turned out almost exactly the same. Turtles fared a little bit better, but then Eagles just kind of made the same plays and they worked out in the same way.
Yeah, and the mid lane from Turtles, this Lissandra pick, I felt like it was going to be so good, but Burgers is really showing up on this Jarvan and making not feel like he has to go for this Zhonya's, making all of these really good catches in the early game and just completely spiraling this game out of control.
Yeah,
the Scion is still a point of power for the Turtles.
But again, it's kind of the same situation of last game of your tanks can tank all you want, but you need your damage to do damage, and they just haven't been able to do that. And yeah, the Eagles have shown Sivir's on 3 items at this point. She's going to melt that Scion.
Yeah, and the Vayne is still sitting at 1 2/3 items.
Yeah, it's
the Vayne's not going to be able to put out enough damage, and the Lissandra doesn't even have a loot yet.
Yeah, it is a rough spot. What else do you expect with a 13k gold lead? Look at that damage onto Dognut just from Slim, who's not even the fed one.
Yeah, Slim doesn't even have 2 items yet, and it's already enough to force them to use a locket.
Slim's basically even with his lane opponent. He's 300 gold up on Scion.
Yeah. Talk about complete swap of the early game pressure. It felt like the Scion was just so far ahead of Slim at the beginning, and now it's just completely turned in the Eagles' favor.
Yeah, and the Eagles,
they're just going to take the entire base.
Yep, they've gotten their second inhibitor already, and now looking for a third. There's nothing really that the Turtles can do. They just have to stand and watch as their base gets destroyed. They have to put up some last stand under these towers, but
Turtle, you gotta engage somewhere. You gotta find a pick under these turrets somewhere.
I don't know if there's a pick to be found, because the Eagles are still just positioning pretty well, keeping their tanks forward, their carries back. Bike is now getting poked out, and Baron buff has now expired, so they don't have the empowered waves. And
yeah, but now they have triple inhibitors and super minion, the double super minions coming in each lane at 24 minutes.
And smartly, they're just kind of sitting here and not letting the opponents far enough. They're like, there's nothing on the map for us to get. We're just gonna sit here and wait. We'll let the minions kill your towers gradually over time. We have the Ocean Drake to heal. We have the Mountain Drake. Ooh, nice look there from Manbear. But
yeah, that was really close.
We have the Mountain to do just that little bit of extra damage to towers, and here come the first couple waves of those stacked supers.
Yeah, Turtles, you gotta do something. Yeah, you just bleed to death here.
Yeah, they need to try and look for some kind of engage. Scion keeps walking forward aggressively and is healing up pretty well, but
he's looking for something. It's just, where do you go?
God,
I feel like maybe having Lysandra ulting and getting the Kennen down might be the best option, but
maybe, but then you just die to burgers and ED dubs. Yeah, look at that crit from ED dubs onto Tetra and just...
Yeah, there it goes. The waves are crashing. Turtles, you gotta do something.
Yep. Finally, the Lysandra Claw goes in, but they don't use it. Nuna just walks forward, pops the ult. Here comes Burgers, putting out a lot of damage onto the Lysandra. And yeah, Lysandra uses that zone, just flash forward from ED dubs, not quite going to finish off the kill. Meanwhile, on the backside, they're still taking down the towers. Maybe a little greedy trying to go for these kills. Behemoth is very low. Flash forward isn't even going to get the kill from Ficus. ED dubs on a killing spree. Slim finally going down. Ficus goes trying to do what he can. On the bottom side, Sivir gets stunned up, shut down finally by the Vayne. But look at all these minions. Burgers on the backside, just hitting the Nexus. And this is going to be the Eagles taking the easy 2-0 over the Turtles.
Yeah, I felt like I watched the same game 2 times in a row.
Pretty much. And there was a few more early game mistakes from the Eagles, but then the late game was still just as clean in that execution.
Yeah, the Eagles just, they get a lead and they just choke you out, and they just keep making these strong, aggressive plays with there's so much CC, and there's nothing that the Turtles could have done. Like they needed to answer in the early game somehow, but it felt like the Eagles were always just right there.
Yeah, and as much as I hate giving Tyler credit for anything, I gotta give MVP of this game to Burgers. He was just absolutely insane on the Jarvan, getting so many good roams off, picking up those early kills, and really pushing his advantage in those late game team fights.
Yeah, absolutely. I gotta give MVP to the whoever came up with this draft, because they played absolute mind games with the Turtles, and it worked exactly how they needed it to.
Yep. And, well, that was a quick 2-game series, but that's gonna do it for the two of us tonight. Again, if you guys like this, maybe drop a follow. I do this every now and then. I'm going to try to do it a little bit more often with some of the Eagles and Falcons games, just because I know them, so they let me cast their games. So, thanks for that. Thank you guys, everyone, for watching. Thank you, Jamie, for joining for the co-cast.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you guys later.